Hi, Susan. How are you today?
I'm good. Hi, Alex. Nice to meet you on the internet. And
Yeah,
how are
yeah.
you doing?
Good, good. Thank you. I would like to thank you first for agreeing for this meeting, taking the time. I know this is really busy time of the year, especially for you guys. The Chinese New Year is approaching, and I'm assuming your business is busy. So thank you very much for this. And let me introduce you quickly, and then I'm going to give you the mic so you can take it from there. So guys, today I'm joined by Susan. Susan runs a coffee startup in Shanghai. Shanghai
Yes.
is one of the like developed, actually, I think in my opinion, it is the developed city and region in China. So if you want to, do business, Shanghai is it has to be one of the options you have to consider, right? To register your company here. So basically, Susan runs her own coffee business here, and I asked Susan to join me for this video because it is a really interesting time. First of all, COVID, pandemic, and there are so many startups, businesses struggling in every country, right, including China. So I wanted to talk to Susan about her coffee business. What's going on in that, sort of business, and has the market resumed, itself? So I just want to ask these questions to Susan. Okay, so I'm going to pass the microphone to Susan. So if you can just, start by introducing yourself, and then we're going to talk about the other questions. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Alex, to give me this opportunity to talk about my business and also talk about in general the business what happened in Shanghai and how does the COVID impact on the business situation in China. First, I introduce myself. I am Susan. My Chinese name is 𝐷𝐚𝐬𝐮𝐫. You can just call me Susan. Even for Chinese people, it's very difficult to remember the name. I started the business in November 2009, which is just 2 months ago before the COVID-19.
Right.
So you can imagine, I really had a lot of stress when the COVID-19 happened.
Mhm.
I did the quarantine almost, I stayed 3 months in my hometown with my parents. My hometown is not in Shanghai, by the way. My hometown is in the north of 𝐀𝐥𝐻, by train about 2.5 hours. Anyway, in China, it's very convenient because the train railway station system is well developed.
Right.
So, but still, we are not allowed to go back to Shanghai, and every road is blocked. So even we cannot get out of our own town. I spent 3 months with my parents every day, watch TV and eat and sleep. But first, we are also like connecting with people, my friends, and including friends in China or like stuck in abroad.
Right.
Yeah, I faced a lot of problem, but from March, I was allowed to come back to Shanghai because I am not from the high-risk region, and fortunately, in my hometown, nobody got infected. So I went back to Shanghai, and then I tried to start to promote my coffee. And then I realized that most of my customers, they're still closed or not allowed to open, or some of the restaurants, they only allow to have the takeaway. You can imagine also like hotels are locked down because nobody traveling. So hotel customers, restaurant customers, even office, most of the people are still working at home. So we almost do not have any business. So that time I started to build my online shop. So I built a WeChat shop for free version WeChat shop. Actually, in China, you can find a lot of free versions. I mean, because my main business is actually focusing on B2B, I don't really focus on B2C. But because I have nothing to do at home, I have to do 14 days quarantine. So that's why I built an online shop. In the meantime, I created my own WeChat official account. I watched the video, from internet, how to write the WeChat official account, where to find the free template, you know, to make it look nicer. In the meantime, I also created several WeChat groups to share the informations. Like actually, I see a lot of friends, they are really eager to go out. They want to know which restaurant is opening, which restaurant can dine in. So I created several groups. And we share events. We have foodie groups and we have job share groups, because also a lot of people lost job. So
unfortunately,
we keep the network growing, and we share every day, like which restaurant is opening, which restaurant can be dining. And then I also created another WeChat official account called Connect Shanghai. And then we got a lot of followers. Now because I am more focusing on coffee business, I didn't manage it so much, but still we have more than 1,000 followers. And then in March, some restaurant, end of March and beginning of April, some restaurants are slowly to opening, but still business are going down. I mean, still didn't recover, even like 10%. I started to deliver some coffee, but my customers only order like a few kilograms a month. They used to order like at least 50 per month, 50 kilograms per month. Then I talked to several friends. I feel people really feel like stressed. They want to go out. They want to do something, especially for sports, for fitness. People are starting to care more about the health. So then I had a friend. She lost a job because of the COVID. But she's very into Zumba, and she even got a certification to teach Zumba. So she was asking me, Susan, since you have this network, can you help me to like organize a Zumba event? And we did it in April, and everyone told me, you're crazy. Oh, how can you guys go out? Like, but we only organize in the open area, you know. And then we only have certain number of people. People are happy. They feel more healthy. Yeah, that's how I built a bigger network. So and then when people ask me what you're doing, I tell them I'm doing coffee. You know, it's such a magic that, you know, you meet a lot of people and probably they won't buy your coffee. Even some of them, they even don't drink coffee, but they like you, and then eventually they bring you customers. They will always remember you when they go to our coffee shop, or they see a coffee robot barista. They take a picture and send to me, say, hey, Susan, you should add this. Hey, Susan, this coffee is good. Hey, Susan, this coffee shop doesn't have good coffee. You should sell your coffee to them. You know, it's so interesting. I met a lot of new friends, and also in the meantime I get a lot of new customers. So from May I slowly the business started to recovering, and then after August, my business is every month we have new customers. And I was lucky. I got several big customers. Big customers for me means they are a big group, and under this one group they have several restaurants and coffee shops. And also I signed a contract. It's a worth 500 Fortune company called 𝐷𝐚𝐬𝐻. They also order over 100 kilograms per month.
Wow, that's
so yeah. I was really happy with this big actually in China coffee business is really tough, because more and more brands, and you can see brands all over the world are coming into China. Like Peace Coffee from America, Starbucks is very strong in China. And then you also have local coffee brands like Manner, like Mellor Coffee, and even a lot of individual coffee shops. But the thing is, coffee market is still not mature in China, because I've seen a lot of Yeah. A lot of individual coffee shops, they have professional barista, they have good coffee, but not so many people are coming to their coffee shop. I mean, not as many as enough to make money, but many people remember the brand, like Starbucks. They are strong. They can say we are big brand, and when they talk to for coffee business, if you want to open a coffee shop, the rental fee in Shanghai is very expensive.
Very expensive, I know.
So yeah. So for example, if you just have a small coffee shop, you have like 20,000 kuai, like even very small, 20,000 kuai per month, then you need 2 baristas. So in total, it's already more than 30,000 kuai, and you can calculate. You sell 1 coffee. Even a lot of foreigners, they complain. They say, how in China you guys sell coffee over 30 kuai per cup, but I tell them even with 30 kuai per cup, they still lose money because they need to sell over 100 cups per day to start to make a little bit of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying the margins are quite small in coffee business.
Yeah, I mean, you just consider like a coffee. Of course, you have big margin. But if you deduct the rental fee, the barista salary,
of course, yeah.
And even we don't calculate the innovation fee, and usually the individual coffee shops, they need to buy a very professional, fancy espresso machine, which costs usually more than 60,000 kuai.
Of course, yeah, the quality ones, really, yeah, good ones that you can, durable ones, I mean, you can use, right?
Yeah. Right. But in Starbucks, it's not fair. Because most Starbucks, they use the automatic machine. You know, their staff, they don't, I mean, they give professional training, but every person, you know how you press harder or you press 2 gram more coffee ground, and the taste can be completely different. That's why they want to make it simple. Okay, let's make it simple. We put our automatic machine, so every amount and pressure is settled. It cannot change.
Yep.
So, but automating machine cannot extract coffee, cannot make good coffee. They're not professional.
Of course.
But many people don't know it.
So yeah, of course, there are. I mean, person to person, I think, especially in coffee, people need personal, approach, right? Barista's approach. For example, when you go to like small family-owned coffee shops, especially I'm coming from where there is a coffee culture, like countries like Italy, for example, or you go like Latin American countries, there's like coffee is a daily necessity, right? So there, in those countries, you don't really see, big chains like, Starbucks, for example. Starbucks maybe in Milan, there are a few, branches, but on a normal day, an Italian person would just go to a family-owned coffee place, right? Coffee shop. So okay, this is really interesting. So let's just step back a little bit, so I can ask.
Yeah, sorry, I go too far.
No, it's cool. Thank you for introducing and giving us insights what's happening in the coffee business. Let's just fill in some of the gaps there, because it might be useful for the viewers. Now,
sure.
Let's start from the point where you decided to start the business. I want to ask you, why did you decide on coffee business? Why not, some online store selling clothes or sourcing business or anything else than coffee? Why coffee?
Yeah. Okay. So 6 years ago, in 2015, I came to Shanghai, from a small city to Shanghai. Before that, I only drink coffee really in Starbucks. Only maybe one year, several times, which usually during the business trip, which we wait for the train, and usually Starbucks are everywhere at the train station. So it's very convenient for us to find a space and to charge our laptop, our phone, and then to work a bit. So this is my first experience with coffee. And then when I went to Shanghai, I work in an Italian company. So you can imagine Italian people really love coffee. So in our very small startup company, and we have the drip coffee machine, and we have Nespresso, and we even have a small automating machine which can grind the beans.
Mm.
From that time, we were in the fashion industry. So sometimes we have a lot of fashion week exhibitions. Right. Every month we have a lot of exhibitions. Every exhibition we have to prepare a lot of stuff, and we need to when during the exhibition, I have to drink a lot of coffee. Even though that time I actually don't like coffee.
You like coffee, so you already answered. You didn't even like coffee in the beginning, right?
I mean,
it was not
from that time, that time I didn't fall in love with coffee. I mean, but I feel like wow, it's so much strange because after I drink coffee, I really have so much power. Because when I was in a small city, I used to take a nap after lunch.
Right.
But when I was working in an Italian company, they don't have the culture. And everybody is blaming me. They were saying like, you Chinese people are so lazy and you eat and sleep in the office. Right. And you guys wear sneakers and wear sportswear. How come? Yeah, so I mean, Italian people are very passionate and straightforward. I don't mind it because I know they are nice people too. So I try to change myself. I drink coffee, and then really it changed myself. Also like my face. I feel it's different. Before I feel my face is more like yellowish and very sleepy. But after you drink coffee, I feel I am a superwoman. Yeah, it changed me so much because probably, you know, like in small town in China, we usually sleep very early, or around 10 o'clock, and then, but we also get up early. But in Shanghai, it's a fast-moving city, and it's almost like 24 hours. And from early morning, people get up early to catch the train and start work. And a lot of people work at night also. They overwork. Also at night, a lot of events. It's such a dynamic city. As long as you have time, every day you find a lot of events in Shanghai.
Shanghai is one of those metropolis cities, obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning. I mean, anybody's watching from New York, anybody's watching from London, or any big city in the world, Shanghai is exactly like that. I mean, if you own a business, it's not like, you know, balance. You have to, you know, you can spare some 8 hours, and then, you know, the rest of the day you can spend for your family, etc. You know, the competition is really fierce. So if you don't do anything, you start losing already, right? So this is how, you know, serious the business atmosphere here.
You also need to move fast. Like for us smaller companies, if you run out of cash flow, you die.
Exactly. So this is what I want to actually mention, right? You see on the street, I observe, you see some coffee shop or some restaurant opening fresh, and then after a couple of days, it disappears. So I can guess that, yeah, maybe the business, you know, model didn't work, or maybe they couldn't, you know, survive the competition, basically. Yeah, this is very true.
Very common in Shanghai. I'm working closely with restaurants, and even before the COVID, a lot of restaurants and bars close very fast. But the stable ones are always stable. You know, if they can stay like survive like 3 or 5 years, they can always be there. Like my customer, Fat Cow. I mean, some restaurant, also my customer. Who will be my customer, I will be also very, very careful. For example, like a new restaurant, they say, oh, we are going to open a few restaurants and our business is really, really good. We have a lot of brunch, we can add coffee. But I'm worried, what if you open and close like 1 year and then you closed? I invest a machine, an espresso machine. It's very expensive. It doesn't worth my money.
So when you sign an agreement with your partner, for example, client, you invest. You mentioned you invest on an espresso machine. So does it mean that, you know, for each client you have to, you know, kind of you know, spare a separate machine for them?
No, no, no. From beginning, of course, I am more preferred to our customer, which they already have their own coffee machine.
Right.
So we can say we can give you a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
But for the new, as I said, like new restaurant, I really don't want to do it. First of all, they usually want the machine because as I said, the coffee business is very tough. A lot of big brands, they have money. They can get cheaper price on the machine, and they say, you use my coffee, I give you a free coffee machine. But for me, I even would like to quit. Let them do, no problem. I even don't think this business model is healthy. Even they are big brands that have money, but you can imagine after 2-3 years, what if the restaurant closed? What if the purchasing manager changed their mind?
Always the risk involved, right?
Yeah, you even need to spend money. Yeah, you even have to find a place to put the machine. Actually, I mean, if we were in fashion business, I mean, that time I started to drink a lot of coffee like regularly. As of I know, still 99% Chinese people, they don't drink a lot of coffee like every day. Go to coffee shop, maybe just to meet friends and maybe just to take a photo, and then they left. It's not really compulsory. I have to drink coffee every day. But I mean, from that Italian company, I started to drink coffee every day. If I don't drink coffee, I feel I am very sleepy. I don't have any energy. Yeah, and then that time my company was also very close to the biggest Starbucks reservation center. So I also go there. Even when my father visited me, I brought him there. I tell my father, I said, look, and this is so interesting, and to see how they roast coffee and how they brew coffee. And then that time there is my previous coffee company, and the general manager, and he contacted me. He said, we are hiring the new sales, do you want to join us? But our previous salesperson, only foreigners. Now it's getting more and more difficult to hire foreigners.
Why did you quit them in the first place? Why did you quit that Italian company?
I worked there for more than 3 years. I feel like as a startup, if you don't grow in 3 years, you are still like almost the same from beginning. I feel this kind of company won't stay longer. So I chose to leave. I was planning to grow together with the company, but it doesn't grow so much. I think it's because my boss, he invests too many projects, and then he's really not focusing on each one. No, and then later I joined another company. I work as a sales manager, and then that time I learned more professionally, and I learned, wow, there's so much knowledge to learn, and I find out there's a much more better coffee in China, actually. Because even though in Italy they have a lot of coffee culture, but they don't grow coffee. They import the beans, they just roast. They create the recipe. They roast in Italy. Coffee grow in the Ecuador area.
Different countries, yes. It's just, they built the coffee culture because there's a consumption, right? In Europe countries, and
And then I joined the company, but for almost 2 years, the founder also want to sell the coffee business because he want to move to Japan with his wife. So I feel like the founder didn't really focus on the business, and they didn't adjust their plan because new competitors. So the company's business going down. So that's why I quit the job. Then a lot of my friends were saying like, you're doing really good job, because only after I worked for 1 year, I 1/3 of the company's revenue was created by me. So they said, wow, you're really good. You only work for 1 year, and you have the company more than 30% of the revenue. So then some of my friends, they encouraged me to start my own business. So that's why I start my own business, and I'm going to more deep to learn more coffee knowledge. Then I realized freshness is really important for coffee. So I mean, I don't say like Ili, Lavazza, those kind of coffee is not good.
But if you like a custom blend, right? You blend it yourself and your own products.
Yeah, now I blend. I work with some, like former barista the roasting champion. So
Wow.
actually, I mean, for those commercial coffee, nothing special. It's not so good to copy actually, because when you receive the coffee from Italy,
Mm,
from Switzerland, it's already several months.
mm,
And we also compared in one of my events. I organized like coffee lovers event, barista training, and we grind the beans, and we found that when we smell, it's so different because the beans
mm,
are getting old, and also the when the beans are getting longer time, and it can become harder. If you
right.
grind like same grinding size and you put in a pour over machine, and the beans which already rose several months ago is
Mhm,
the water is going very slow because the
mhm.
beans is so hard. It's difficult to brew.
So, okay, starting from, okay, you mentioned that you worked for this Italian coffee company, and then there's a fashion company, but how did you learn all of this to understand coffee itself, or did you take part in some trainings?
Oh yeah. So when I joined my first coffee company, I mean from before that, when I worked in an Italian company, I just know like to drink coffee and to which flavor I like most,
Yeah.
and then I learned some basic knowledge from my Italian boss and my Italian colleagues. And
Mhm.
then when I joined the coffee company, because we roast actually in Shanghai. So then I learned better. I said, wow, it's fresh coffee tastes much better than the imported coffee beans.
Mhm.
And then after I quit the job, I also went to Yunnan.
Mhm.
Uh, in China we have coffee farm in Yunnan and Hainan Island. But
Yeah.
Hainan Island mainly robusta coffee, not
Mhm.
very good coffee.
Mhm.
But in Yunnan, the farmers really improved a lot of their skills during the past 20 or 30 years,
Wow.
because there are even you find a lot of organizations and
Mhm.
a lot of international experts. They
Mhm.
went to Yunnan. I really appreciate what they're doing, like Torch. I'm not sure if you guys heard about them. Also, like the words, a specialty coffee institution. They put
Wow.
some effort and help the local farmers to teach them how to grow a better coffee. And then that's why these years you can see Yunnan Coffee also have specialty coffee.
Mhm.
When I traveled to Germany in
Mhm.
2018, I found the Yunnan coffee in a
Wow.
specialty coffee shop in Germany. Yeah,
Mhm.
I took a picture and shared in my mount, and the people are surprised. I actually that time 𝐷𝐷, 𝐷𝐷 is a Chinese brand. They
Okay.
already even now they every month they export tons of Yunnan coffee to all over the world.
Wow.
Tons
I
of
have to
coffee,
I
like
have to
20.
try Yunnan coffee then. So far, I've been trying different for brands, but after this video, I'm going to ask for your recommendations. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Yeah, but I mean, different region, it doesn't mean like coffee from Colombia is good, coffee from
Mm.
any area is always some friends always ask me which coffee do you think is the best? I tell them the coffee from different areas, they have their own character.
Mm.
It's the same like you ask me Italian pasta or Chinese noodle, which one is good? Of
Right,
course, for first, probably they will choose pasta, but for me, I will always choose noodle.
right. So it's a personal preference, so to speak, right?
Yeah, also like how you plant the coffee, how
Mm.
you process the coffee, how you roast the coffee also can change. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why you need to like us, we need to learn the knowledge how
Mm.
to identify which is the good coffee, which in a good quality. But I created my own brand and roast in China.
Mm.
I also want to teach people that
Mm.
what is good coffee, what is bad coffee. And some coffee, to be honest, uh, they sell too high price, especially imported brand. It's
Mm.
the same as chocolate. Last
Mm.
time my friend write an article, they criticized like Godiva.
Mm.
She told me Godiva's quality is really so. But they did a good job on marketing in China. So
Mm.
people are paying a really high price on the so quality. Same
Right.
as coffee. So I also want to educate people the knowledge about what is a real good coffee. But of course, different people have different taste. It's still like Starbucks coffee. You try their coffee, you like their coffee. It's okay for you, but it's not necessary to pay that high price.
Of course, of course. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of things to consider, especially when we're talking about coffee. First thing I tell people is, yeah, I enjoy going to Starbucks and all these big chains, sometimes, but only to meet people, But if you really want to enjoy coffee, probably these are not the places, right? So you have to really, consider different factors and then make a choice. And probably it would be better to spend, at least, some amount of money for the coffee machine, and do your coffee yourself, or like I said before, like go to the family traditional coffee shops. There you can taste more, better coffee, right? One of the points, of this joint video, it was actually, talk about the COVID situation and its effects. And how did you survive? What is the situation? How it affected your business?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I didn't start the business during the COVID-19. I started the business actually before 2 months before the COVID. Right. I didn't expect. Nobody expects there's a COVID. So if during the COVID-19, probably I will quit. but again, I also find out other opportunities. So people say there's a disaster, but there's also opportunity. Why? Let me tell you. From very beginning, when I started to roast my coffee, when I just at the beginning, my quantity is very small, and I knock the door because I want to use the big factory. I want them to check the beans to make sure the beans are clean. There's no stones, but they reject me because they think I am too small. They said go to the small roasters. But this year, after because of COVID-19, they come back to me because a lot of projects suspended or either canceled, or some company they closed down, the big ones, because they have a lot of employees. They buy a lot of beans and they run out of cash. Their customers, probably people focusing on hotel business. Hotel customers, you can imagine like several months later, every hotel every month they use almost 500 kilogram coffee, and after 3 months it means almost 2 tons of coffee they cannot sell out. So it's also an opportunity. Yeah, how I survived. First of all, as I said, I started to keep my network growing. So I created my online groups. If you guys are not used to like WeChat, you can also use maybe Facebook or WhatsApp also have business version, and you try to keep active. Even I saw my friend, he's still stuck in Australia, but he's like having like a Zoom meeting every week. To just keep people are more active and then show up himself. And then another thing I want to tell people is like help people. No matter you can get the return or not, you always help people, especially people are in the same circle. For example, like I am working for coffee. Of course, if I see any restaurant, they need cheese, they need wine, or they need other stuff. If I know someone is selling it, I'll help them to connect to them. Some of them they were also saying, "Oh, you must take a lot of commission." I said, "No, first of all, I am not an expert on wine or cheese. If I talk to the customer, the customer will feel confused. Hey, you're a coffee lady. Why you sell me cheese, right? You're not a professional." So I would like to help people to let them to discuss. They are more professional. They know how much is the price. And then both of my customers and my friends, they are happy. And in the meantime, they see someone, they need something. They always think about me. And also, I mean, no matter what, even though you're out of your circle, even, I mean, maybe because of coffee lovers are everywhere, everyone can be my customer. That is very true. Even like my logistic friend, and she's looking for something, and I introduced my other friend who's doing trading company like Alex. Yeah, they connect each other and they use their service, so they're happy. So I think this is very important to
yeah,
be active.
helping, exactly, yes, it pays off, right, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that is also the reason I come here to do the interview and to share something. I hope to help you guys.
of course. Thank you for that. And yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, I mean, this is what recommended by myself as well. Will always help people, try to connect, try to attend, try to stay active all the time, right?
Yeah. Also,
Great.
Alex is a really nice guy. He always very nice and help people. He's also well known in the 𝐷𝐸𝐷 group and also out of 𝐷𝐸𝐷 group. And also he's always also sharing on the webinar. I also see a lot of posters in the group and saying guest speaker Alex.
Yeah, thank you for that little introduction. Yeah, basically, I mean, all the time, this is what I recommend, like I said, to everyone, basically, to stay active all the time if they can. And especially during the COVID, what do we do? I mean, most of the countries right now, luckily China is in good shape, but you know, there are some countries in Europe or some other, Latin America maybe not in a such a good shape, right? Because the number of viruses are rising, so they're in lockdown. So what do? You keep working on your online business, which one of the things you already mentioned, like creating groups in different social platforms, number one, right? And number two is WeChat. For example, most of the people keep asking us because, like you mentioned, we do a lot of consulting, corporate consulting, and plus like playing the bridge role between the companies who want to enter China and the consumers, like companies and individuals who want to be clients, right, for foreign products. So basically, anybody who wants to enter the Chinese market need to consider the importance of WeChat, right? WeChat plays a dominant role, right? Even you mentioned that you have groups and 2 official accounts, right? Like, why do you think WeChat is important for Chinese startups and businesses?
Yeah, first of all, almost every Chinese who has a smartphone will have a WeChat. So it's basically, I feel like I even don't need to pay my phone or my phone calls. So we just chat on the WeChat. It's very convenient. Also, we can do the video. Second is like WeChat also developed a lot of features. You can see their apps also add a lot of features that update the versions almost every month. You see more features. They are also adjusted, and you feel like WeChat is also more and more user friendly.
Exactly. Recently, they introduced this live functionality as well, right? Now you can do live videos. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like now, I even do not have my wallet. Every day, I just bring my phone and I go out, and we can pay by Alipay, WeChat. I mean WeChat Pay. Yeah.
Right.
So it's very convenient. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
right. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
WeChat
also
is
for
kind of a, all-in-one platform basically for payments, for socializing, etc.
yeah. Even companies, even you do business, you can create a group. For example, like me, I create a coffee lover group. I can share like the deals and coffee knowledges, and people are happy. Yeah. People like to connect to each other. Actually, they don't like to be isolated.
Of course. Now, I mean, traditional way of running a business is kind of, changing, right? I think, in the especially after COVID, using different mobile applications probably going to be the dominant way of running a business. For example, right now, people contact us, for example, more through applications than through emails, You know, a lot of people keep asking, do you have WeChat? Do you have a WhatsApp, right? Or do you have Telegram? You know, the Telegram is also, you know, very famous, especially for the Russian-speaking part of the world, and Pakistan and India, and they are also developing. Because we help foreigners, you know, form different types of companies in China. People ask, you know, what are the recommendations? Because I have the fund, for example, I have investment from my country, or I have money. So I want to invest in new market in China most of the time, because China is now the world's, you know, first economy, and obviously it offers a lot of opportunities for investors. So I mean, what are the general tips? And if you can recommend a couple of like things they need to consider in coffee business, like first generally and then in coffee business. So what they have to, you know, watch out.
Okay, so I think first of all you need to understand like China, the culture. Maybe you are from Asia. Probably we have something in common. But in general, as of I know, I have several like foreign friends. I think Chinese culture are really different from where you are from, and also in China, we don't have a lot of people don't have a religion. So you need to understand the culture first. So and then you also sometimes you don't need to be like so rude, and mutual respect is always compulsory. And then China is very safe actually, as long as you are really committed to do something, and even though you have good advice, but you think it can be against the Chinese law, or you think our Chinese government doesn't want me to speak. But you can use another way. You can say how you can help China. You can help the people find a job, and you can help the new energy to develop, and then they will be happy. And use another way. Don't just come here and then criticize everything. Stay positive all the time.
Of course.
Yeah. And then I think China. I think the future. I mean, before China is still very closed. People do not understand Western products, but Chinese people are young, especially young people. They are curious to try new things. But what I see nowadays, because before Chinese people going abroad, they travel abroad, they are a bit tired of the big brands. Like I said, I saw my friends, she's writing a blog on WeChat saying how to pick up a good quality the chocolate, no need without paying like a higher price for bad ones. So people are realizing more and more on the qualities, not just a brand. And people, if you want to sell your products to China, and you need to really keep a reputation on different aspects, and you need to put maybe you cannot do yourself. You can also find a third party or like consulting company like Alex company, and then can help you to build your company introduction and reputation. For example, if a Chinese they saw a new brand, a new products, they don't know if it's good or not, they will not buy immediately. They will search online. They will search on WeChat. They will search on Baidu, which is Chinese.
Not Google. Guys, you have to be really careful. You know, this is actually a good thing that you mentioned. A lot of foreign companies make this huge mistake. You know, they have a big presence on maybe foreign search engines. You know, they have good presence on Facebook, maybe on Google, obviously, or YouTube. But one thing to realize is China is entirely, China has its own world of internet. And they don't really, Chinese consumers, they don't really need, YouTube, or they don't really need the Google. Yeah? So that's why if you want to enter Chinese market, you have to build reputation or presence on Chinese platforms, right? And big one is obviously Baidu, WeChat, and Weibo, all these things, right?
Yeah.
It's
Alex is really a Chinese expert.
it's just one of the things that we have to mention. Although I talk about it a lot, that we have this, recent experience with the, not so big but medium-sized brand, okay, from a foreign country. So they want to sell in China, and they produce actually their own cosmetics products. And they approached us, and we gave them the consultation, and they said they played that ignorant role you mentioned. They said that, okay, we are too big for that. Our presence on Google, on Facebook is too big to start from scratch. Because initially we told them that, yeah, this is the way. We open your page on Baidu, Weibo. We open your page on official page on WeChat, and then we just have to start from over, from the beginning. And most of the companies, they didn't like it, but I think this is just a lost opportunity. That's it. I mean, for Chinese market, there's a different psychology. You just have to, need to build all that traction from the beginning, right?
Yeah, from beginning, you need to find your, we call it angel customers.
Right.
It means you find your angel customers, and you provide good quality and good service. You know where you are, who are your target customers, and then let these angel customers to help you to spread the word. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention on WeChat or on even TikTok, you can do like a online live stream. And even you're like quarantine at home, you can show your products, and you can just like a blogger or celebrating, and you can show your products and telling people. Even more Chinese people are interested in foreigners to speak. You can just have someone to help you to translate. It's very interesting for Chinese people to watch foreigners to do the show.
Right. So definitely, yeah, thank you for sharing all the experience, Susan. Really appreciate it. I mean, all in all, we can say that, during COVID, like you mentioned, there are always opportunities, right? Businesses lose when they become idle, right? They should not stay idle. They should move forward all the time, be active, take advantage of the social media. If you're in lockdown, create content. Create awareness about your company and spread it everywhere, right? It's just a click of a mouse, right? You open your page, you share it everywhere, right? It's just, so powerful. The internet is today that, sometimes people just, forget it, right? And, okay, one of the last questions probably, Susan. So it's maybe like a, fun fact. Although you mentioned that, choosing a coffee is highly it depends on the personal choices. What is your own favorite coffee blend, and why do you like it?
Well, regarding the single origin, I like the coffee from Ethiopia. Actually, I feel like I want to visit a lot of coffee shops. I feel like some coffee shops, they only add 1 or 2 single origin. We call them single origin. Most of them never add Ethiopian. Why? Because Ethiopian coffee tastes fruity and has a lot of floral smell. Yeah, it's others like Brazil, probably they taste more nutty or chocolate. But Chinese people, I mean the young people, you see they are really different. For example, like tea. A lot of people talking about tea. They say, oh, in China you have a lot of tea. But actually, only my father's generation, they drink the pure tea. But for young people, you see Hei tea. Hei tea, who is Hei tea? Alex know it. They add the milk, they add the syrup into the tea, and they make like the juicy, even like coffee, they add like milk, syrup, and even chocolate. They mix it, and some of them even mix with juice. I don't know what's that.
So do you, again, some personal, choice questions. So do you take your coffee with milk and sugar, or do you take it black?
It depends on the coffee is good or not. I usually if it's the coffee is good, I mean, if I know the coffee, I usually just drink black coffee. First of all, I am in I like the pure coffee taste. I mean, when I work in my last company, I learned more. The more I learned, and then I fell in love with coffee, and I cannot stop drinking coffee. But if it's the bad coffee or very dark roasting, very strong coffee like 𝐉𝐚𝐬𝐻𝐸, they had, you know, they have a flagship real shop in China next to
I know. I
Jing'an.
visit them quite. Yeah, in center of Shanghai, actually. Yes.
Yeah, that one is really bitter for me, really strong. Even the latte, we had a meeting with our Italian friend. Even my Italian friend told me this blend is really strong. Even Italian people said, you know, maybe they use different blend. Yeah. So I usually drink black coffee. I kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So another question I want to ask you, and it's going to be actually asked by many viewers, I believe. If a coffee company want to enter the Chinese market, can your company play the bridge role? Like, is it possible to contact you if they want to sell their coffee into the Chinese consumers?
First of all, I am actually looking for some coffee brand to work together with, because you know, I am targeting more like French restaurant, because in France they have good cheese, they have good wine, but they don't have good coffee. But in Italy they have good coffee. They are proud of coffee. And when I approached our Italian restaurant, they will always piss me off. They say, "Hey, you're local coffee. How you sell so much, so expensive? You should sell very cheap." And in Italy, we have the best coffee in the world. If your coffee is not the Italian brand, don't sell to me. So this is the truth. I actually want to add some Italian coffee. But I when I worked to several talked to several brands, they want me to be their sales. You know, I cannot quit my business since I already started. Also, it's possible to work together, but I just want to be clear that I will separate the different business model, because for my own brand, I will promote because I say it's locally roasted, it's fresh. So this is my advantage. And then the other parts, like imported, maybe our Italian brand, and I use another strategy, like more condensed to Italian restaurant, or we connect to the Italian chamber, and they will organize some Italian food and beverage festival. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Susan. So I'm going to leave all the contact details for Susan's business. If you guys are interested working with Susan, you can approach her company and discuss the business details. Thank you very much, Susan. Really appreciate it, your expertise on this. I think you know, it's going to be very useful for many people who want to enter the Chinese market.
Yeah, sure. I really want to thank you, Alex. And I know you're a professional consultant. And if you guys are interested to do business in China, I'm sure Alex is the best person to contact. But of course, for business, there's too much to say. So, but today we only have an hour, and I don't want to bother Alex family time. So yeah. If you guys want to have other questions, you can always reach Alex, or Alex can forward to me, and then I'm happy to help. I'm happy to share, because there's too much to say. A lot of things in China, and also even just coffee.
China is a massive market. So even if you start a teeny tiny business, you have the world of opportunities. Like I always say this, I mean, I don't want to continue too much, but you know, as a closing phrase, I can say, imagine, right? Imagine Shanghai alone has probably more population than your entire country. So imagine that, a lot of opportunities here. It will be like, you know, your own little shop will be selling to the entire country. Just like
yeah. You mentioned the cosmetic. By the way, it's really a good
cosmetics, wine, business, coffee business. Exactly. Yeah.
Coffee, fitness, health, old people products and cosmetic. It is considered the booming market. Also, organic, like plant-based meat, yeah, it's growing a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. So we're going to, try to arrange, maybe after a couple of months or after some time, after getting the feedback, try to arrange another video with Susan. Thank you for watching, and I really thank everybody, and especially Susan. Thank you. See you guys next time. Right?
Thank you, Alex.